Cheers of excitement from passengers on board JetBlue Flight 387, the first American commercial plane to land in Cuba in 5 decades. The flight took off from Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport this morning, and among the more than 100 passengers on board was the U.S. Transportation Secretary.
Our own Hatzel Vela was also on board and the one and only reporter to deliver the first live report ever from Santa Clara, Cuba. He joins us now from the airport to fill us in on how that first flight went. Hatzel.
Lori, Victor, I can tell you the flight only lasted about 50 minutes, and it is 50 years, more than 50 years in the making. So history made right here in Santa Clara. But we're also getting news out of Havana, where the Secretary of Transportation announced the finalization of flights to Havana. At 10:56 a.m., they witnessed something that has not happened since 1961. A commercial flight landed on Cuban soil, greeted the same way. Outside, waiting, we found Yara's great aunt, Gladys. And shortly after, Yara, who could not help herself but cry.
I know when to cry and when not to cry, and this is the moment where you could cry. And better to have cries, tears of joy, than tears of anything else.
But for some in the South Florida Cuban exile community, this is not the way to go. More tourism, more dollars, they say, allows more oppression from the Castro government.
By engaging, we have the best chance to help Cuba and, more importantly, the Cuban people make progress.
10:05 this morning, water cannons signaled the beginning of something new. Takeoff. On an Airbus A320, 150 passengers flew out of Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport and into history. All right, so we're told of the 150 passengers, 65 of them are regular travelers. The others are members of the media, and we're told the entire crew is of Cuban descent.
Having the first time seeing her and being here and going to her home, and just I could only imagine what the next 3 days will be encompassing.
So we also talked to Secretary Fox about the infrastructure here in Cuba. Can Cuba deal with so many flights coming on the island? And he says simply the Cubans are going to have to live up to the demand. So a lot of things happening here, especially in Santa Clara, a very small town but a very welcoming town. Let's also point out that American Airlines has just announced back in South Florida, obviously a major carrier that affects all of us back in South Florida, that they will start selling tickets to Havana starting in September. For now, reporting live in Santa Clara, Cuba, Hatzel Vela, Local 10 News.
So much emotion as that landed. Incredible to be there. Hatzel, thank you.